Hello, in this video, let us discuss the merits and demerits of sole proprietorship. This is part 2 of the chapter Forms of Business Organization +1 Business Studies. In part 1 of the chapter, we have discussed about the concept of sole proprietorship and the features of sole proprietorship. So in this video, we would be discussing about the merits and demerits of sole proprietorship as well as the expansion of sole proprietorship. To begin with, we have merits, and we would be studying merits of sole proprietorship under 5 headings. And these 5 headings are quick decision making, confidentiality of information, direct incentive, sense of accomplishment, ease of formation and closure. Now let us discuss these merits or advantages one by one. The first is quick decision making. As because sole proprietorship is a business which is owned, controlled and managed by a single person. So, a sole proprietor enjoys complete freedom in order to take the decisions. It helps in quick decision making because he do not have to consult with others. So, for all the decisions, he is not dependent on any other person. So, he can take quick decision. And by taking timely decisions, he can take advantage of the market opportunity that can arise from time to time, and he can increase his profit. So quick decision making can be taken by him because he is a single owner. He is not dependent on anyone for taking the decisions. He can take his decision by his own without consultation with anybody else. Second is confidentiality of information. Confidentiality of information means secrecy. In every business, there is secrecy. Some secrets are there in each and every business. The maintenance of full secrecy is very, very important in business. As sole proprietor takes all the decision by himself, and he do not have to consult about his business with anybody. So it helps in to retain all the information confidential. He is not bound by law to publish his firm's account openly. So because there are very less formalities he has to do, and there is secrecy in information in business. The reasons may be 2. First reason, you can say there is secrecy because all the decisions are taken by him alone without any consultation with anybody else. Second reasons for secrecy is he don't have to publish his accounts. There is no compulsion for sole proprietor to publish his account. Because sole proprietor is not publishing his account, the secrecy of the business is not shared with anybody else. Third is the direct incentive. The owner of the business enjoys all the profits of the business because he don't have to share the profits with anybody else. So there is direct relationship between efforts and reward. How much hard work he would be doing, how much profit he would be earning, all the profit will be going to him. So this is the direct incentive. Direct incentive is the relationship between hard work and rewards, or efforts and rewards. And this direct incentives encourages him to work hard and to get more and more profits. So this is the direct incentive. Point number 4 is the sense of accomplishment. Now, sole proprietor provides personal satisfaction to himself. It means he undertakes or he runs such type of business which provides him full satisfaction. This full satisfaction is sense of accomplishment. He gets personal satisfaction and the proprietor is himself responsible for the success of the business. Now, whatever decisions he takes, he is full aware about what he is trying to do. And if those decisions brings the success of business or helps him in earning more and more profits, he gets a sense of accomplishment. He gets a sense of motivation to work more hard. He gets a sense of confidence to work more hard in order to run his business. Number 5, fifth point is ease of formation and closure. Ease of formation and closure means business can be started easily without too many legal formalities, and business can also be closed down easily at the will of the proprietor or the owner. Whenever the owner wants, he can close down the business without any legal formalities or without very less legal formalities, with the help of very less legal formalities. So there is ease of formation and closure in a business. These are the merits of sole proprietorship. Let us discuss some of the limitations of sole proprietorship. The limitations of sole proprietorship can be done under 4 headings. First is the limited resources. Second, limited life of business concern. Third, unlimited liability. And fourth is the limited managerial ability or skills. Now let us discuss the limitations one by one. We would be starting with the first limitation, that is limited resources. The resources of sole proprietor are limited because he has his personal savings, and from the personal savings he finances his business. The borrowing capacity of the business is also limited, as banks and other financial institutions may hesitate to provide long-term loan to the sole proprietor. Now, due to the lack of resources, sole proprietor is generally a small size and the growth rate is also very less. So, because sole proprietor is a single owner of the business, he has limited resources to run a business. At the same time, banks and financial institutions are also not too much willing to provide a sole proprietor long-term loan. This provides as a disadvantage for the business. The business is unable to grow at a faster pace. Second is the limited life of the business concern. Now we have studied in the feature of the business, one of the feature, that is no separate entity. It means in the eyes of law, owner and business are considered the same, they are not separate. So sole proprietor does not enjoy continuity of life of the business. The 6th point of feature that you have studied in the previous lecture, lack of business continuity. Because of the lack of business continuity, there is a limited life of the business. Due to the illness, due to the death, due to insolvency of the sole proprietor, the business is affected, and this may lead to the closure of the business. So there is a limited life of business concern. This is one of the limitations also. The third limitation of sole proprietorship is unlimited liability. Liability we have also discussed in the features. We have discussed that the liability of the business or legal responsibility of the business is unlimited. It means that if a business has taken a loan and he fails to clear the loan, and the business assets has to be used in order to clear off that loan. If the business assets are not enough to clear the loan, then at the same time the personal assets, the personal property of the business can be used in order to clear the loan. So there is a unlimited liability in case of business. That is, a businessman is liable for all the debts of the business. If business fails to clear the debts, then the creditors can recover their dues not only from the business assets, but they can also use the personal assets of the proprietor in order to clear off the loan or the debts. So this is unlimited liability. It is created as one of the disadvantage of sole proprietorship. Then you have lack of limited managerial ability. There is limited managerial ability. Managerial ability is the management of the business is limited. It means because sole proprietor is a single owner, he assumes all the responsibilities of the business himself. Now a single owner lacks managerial ability because he may not be expert in all the matters of the business. He may not be expert in all the matters of the business. There might be some of the matters in which he may suffer to take proper decisions. So there is a lack of management ability in a business. Due to the limited resources, the owner cannot use the services of professional and expert people. Now the question we can arise the question here, that if the businessman is having the problem of management ability, why don't he employ a manager? Why don't he employ an expert who would be taking proper decisions? He is unable to do so because the business lacks resources. Because the business lacks resources, the businessman is not in a position to appoint any expert to take decisions. So he suffers from the problem of managerial ability. Okay. Now how can the sole proprietorship be expanded? In order to expand sole proprietorship, two steps can be taken. In order to expand sole proprietorship, two steps can be taken. The first is employment of a paid assistant, and second is to admit one or more partners. In order to expand sole proprietorship, two steps can be taken. One is employment of a paid assistant, and second is to admit one or more partners. The sole proprietorship may appoint one or more paid assistant if he needs technical or managerial help. This is only possible if sole proprietorship is having enough resources. Now if sole proprietorship is having resources, he can employ a paid assistant, and this paid assistant may help him to take better decisions. It can provide technical and managerial help to the sole proprietorship. Now he can also admit one or more partners. The sole proprietor may admit one or more partners to provide finance and to share the managerial responsibility of the expanding business. Now if he wanted capital in his business, we know that there is a limited resource in a business. Now if you want more and more capital, he can appoint partners, and that partner will be helping the sole proprietorship business or a sole proprietor in two ways. One is the partner will be bringing capital with him. This will help to solve the problem of finance. At the same time, the partner will also help the sole proprietor in order to manage the business. So to provide finance, and share the managerial responsibility, the sole proprietor may admit one or two partners in a business. So this is all about the advantages, limitations, and expansion of sole proprietorship. In the next video, we would be studying about the joint Hindu undivided family business. Thank you.